Hey guys, what is up? We're not at Roots Refuge Farm this morning. Today's going to be a little bit different. Not so much a homesteading vlog, but a vlog of a homesteader that does other things. Alright, so I'm done at the gym this morning. I didn't do a lot of filming of that just because it's very nervous to me. I just stopped by our stores downtown. We're going to take a quick look. Jackson and Noah are working down here. Recently I shared on a podcast, I was talking about just sort of the reality of being a modern homesteader. I think that a lot of times whenever you look at social media and you look at people who are homesteading, and I use that term broadly because I think that it applies to many different applications, and you know, you can kind of be embracing a homestead mindset on a lot of different levels. It's easy when you see people doing that, especially content creators, to imagine that you have to live a very disconnected life, that you're not doing regular things. Now, I do think that there are a lot of things as far as like consumption and things in our culture that are very counter to the homesteading lifestyle, and in getting into a mindfulness of your consumption and sourcing your food well, there are a lot of things that you're not going to want to do. There's a lot of restaurants you're not going to want to go to. There are a lot of products you're not going to want to buy. There is something of a countercultural way of living that is homesteading. But I feel like to really honestly portray the modern homesteading world, a lot of times you're doing a lot of things that have nothing to do with the farm. I mean, like, I go to the gym, my kid plays baseball, we go to baseball games. Like, there are these other things that we're doing that have nothing to do with growing food. And for a while I had the thought that like I needed to just get away from everything that was like that. To really be a homesteader, I had to disconnect from everything that wasn't homesteading. And I still kind of struggle with that sometimes. Like, I still kind of feel like, honestly, an imposter. I mean, that kind of comes up sometimes when we spend the weekend at the ball field, you know, for Ben having a tournament or different things like that. I think this has nothing to do with what I portray my lifestyle is. And I've thought about it a lot recently, and Jeremiah and I had a really good conversation. I told him, sometimes I feel like a poser. And of course, you know, if you're going to be on social media, you're going to deal with negative comments. It just comes with the territory. And, you know, people coming on and being like, I'm sick of YouTubers acting like they're homesteading. You know, it kind of gets under your skin occasionally. It makes you think, especially if you're dealing with any sort of imposter syndrome, it's easy to start thinking, is that true? Like, am I genuine? Am I authentic? Is this real? And I was talking to Maya. I mean, obviously, we have a farm. Obviously, we spend a significant amount of time working that farm. Much of our food we grow. We are homesteaders that go to the gym and go to the baseball field. We're still homesteaders. And such is modern homesteading. The train track runs right by our stores. Look at this beautiful space. Isn't this awesome? The handrail is new. I'm excited to see it. We're gonna have music here. Have people are gonna be able to come, get a cup of coffee. We'll have markets out here, plant sales. This will be paved. There's the exchange. There's my little man-child. So speaking of this stage and music, I actually just went and drove by a rental house because I've been scouting, looking for places for Daniel, because he's actually moving here in like less than a month, and so he's looking for a rental. It's hard to find. Hopefully the one that he's been talking to this lady will actually work out. But he'll be here soon to start roasting coffee, and then eventually I'm sure play some music on the stage for those of you who come and visit us here. As a content creator, I think it's really, really, really awesome to share all of the information and the inspiration about gardening and growing food and raising animals and living a from scratch, kind of old-fashioned, old skills life. I think that's great, and I want to continue doing that. However, occasionally I do kind of want to say, like, hey, we do a lot of other things. We're business owners and we're still homesteaders. Just because you have a life outside of the homestead and there are other things that you do doesn't make it invalid that you're still a homesteader. I think until we start celebrating the fact that homesteading can be engaged in to whatever degree a person is able to do while doing maybe some of the other things that they're committed to or passionate about, I think it's going to stay very niche. Like, we have to let it be accessible to people who have, you know, normal jobs off the farm, and kids who are involved in activities and businesses and other passions. And these things can all go together, and at the end of the day, we're still growing food. We're still choosing mindful consumption. We're still choosing responsibility in relationships, as well as doing other things, and it's all valid. So now that the roastery is more or less done, there's still a few finishing touches on it. We're getting all the cleanup in here done. Hey guys, there's Jack and his buddy Alex, who's here from Arkansas. How's it going?
Good.
Awesome. Glad to have your friend here?
Yeah.
Getting work done, huh? Alex has been Jackson's best buddy since what, 7th grade?
Yeah, middle school.
Middle school, 6th or 7th grade.
7th grade, yeah.
And we actually just brought him out here. He flew for the first time, went on a great adventure, and he's spending a couple weeks out here, and he's working with Jackson down here. So good job, guys. All cleaned out, getting ready to go. Hey, Noski the broski. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Getting
these shelves cleaned up.
Yep.
Getting the clutter out of the way.
Yep. I'm getting ready. Noah, Sturmeyer's youngest brother, he's working down here for us. And then this summer, Jackson is working for him. I was going to take you guys in the roastery and take a quick look at it, but for some reason my little garage door thing opener isn't working. I think it might have gotten unplugged. Here, we can peek in. It's looking good in there. One of the behind the scenes things of being a homesteader that is also a content creator is I spend a lot of time on the computer. Editing, writing, you know, I've written my 2 books. I've got lots of ideas for books. One thing that I really aspire to do, and I'm kind of sharing this in vulnerability, I've shared it a few times recently, is that I really want to write some fiction novels. Like, that's something that's been like a lifelong dream of mine, and it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of concentration. I have learned that being a writer is 10% loving beautiful words and 90% discipline and organization, which the latter part is not something that has been my strong suit of my life, but we're growing. We're learning. So up until this point, obviously I do my work at home. I usually edit my videos on my laptop in my bedroom. I record my podcasts in my pantry. I'm just constantly trying to get into a quiet spot to work. It's hard, and I sometimes go on like writing retreats and stuff like that to focus, because when I am at home, of course, and if you're a parent, I think you probably understand this, like there are a million questions for me, and then on top of that, being an employer, like if I'm at home, I'm gonna be needed. But we rented this office building, it's been several months ago, and we were running our stickers out of here. We were shipping stickers, and many of you have asked recently, like, what happened to the stickers? Well, we were renovating the space, so we closed the shop because we put everything in storage. And it's done being renovated, and the purpose of this is a place for me to be able to come and work, to shoot videos without interruption if I'm gonna sit down and do like teaching videos, and also to write, to do editing, to do things that I can have a separate place to go to be able to focus. So I actually hired my friend Lani. Let's get in here. Actually, let me come in and open the windows so you guys can see. It's so awesome, right? We're still getting some things set up, but I thought I would give you guys a tour of my office because you're going to be seeing quite a few videos coming out of here. I love doing like sit-down teaching videos. I will get a notebook and write an outline and notes and just sit down and do, you know, I mean, if you've been here, you've seen these kinds of videos. It's one of my favorite things to be able to do. But as a person who deals with like focus issues and staying on task, it is really hard to do that when there are distractions. And I'm thrilled to have a space to be able to create that kind of content. I am a firm believer in a creative space making all the difference in the world whenever you are trying to be creative. And that was kind of the purpose here. So let me just jump in and give you guys the tour and show you some stuff. Some of you may recognize some of the art because we used art in here that was sent in by fans and viewers. One of my favorite pieces, my old farm, my original cottage garden, and then there's of course the pavilion and the original window greenhouse. That's very special to me. Actually, when we moved, I shared that every year I have like a part of my garden that just really moves my heart. And the year that we moved, it just happened to be the view of the garden from leaving our driveway. And so that's what that is. So it's really special. And here we have lots of different bits of art that have been sent in. Little strawberry blessings. We got the Sacred Heart of Jesus there. More strawberry blessings. Carolina roses. So many of these have come, like this is, you know, the ground cherries, and then the pears, the things that I grow, or that I, you know, the pear tree in the bathroom stall was a video I've done, and then strawberry blessings. That's a nod to Daniel, calling the strawberries in the garden little blessings. This is one of my favorite details here. My friend Lani is brilliant at design. I asked Lani to give me contact information because I knew people would likely want to reach out to her. We actually hired her to do the design in the roastery and in the exchange, and then I asked her if she could come in and do this little office space for me. I knew what I wanted. I have a tendency to, I like eclectic. I like a lot of color. I like unique things. I like decorating, but I do not really have the time to go into a lot of stores and find really cool pieces. Like the fact that she found those 2 R's and then the sunflower is just wild to me. But I just obviously don't have time to do that. And when I do collect pieces, I have no idea how to like make them work together. And so I had this office space. It was like really plain. This was all open. Noah came and built this wall for me. I didn't necessarily, I'm not a desk person. I do not like sitting at a desk. I really don't like being inside. That's why I liked this, because I had so much natural light. And I knew that if I was gonna have an office space, it could not just be a desk to sit at, or else I just wouldn't use it. It makes me feel really anxious to feel confined to a desk. So I decided I wanted a table in like a living room type area where I could sit up and I could film, but I could also sit in here and write and work. And so when I brought Lani in, I kind of like threw around some ideas of what I was thinking, and she just took it to a level that I could have never gotten to on my own. I mean, she does stuff like finds lamps like this. How cool is this? I just love it. I would have never bought that, but I love it. And this wallpaper actually coordinates, this is Rifle Paper Company. It actually coordinates with the wallpaper that's in the roastery. So this is sort of the feel that the coffee house will be. It will be very similar to this. These jewel tones and eclectic art, very botanical themed. Also, can y'all tell that my favorite colors are green and pink? And orange, like all of these are just all of my favorite colors right here. And of course you may recognize this couch used to be in my living room. I bought it because I loved it so much and I was so excited about it. But Jeremiah hated it. He was like, this couch is not made for big men. Because it has this really low back. I find it incredibly comfortable. I'm also significantly smaller than Jeremiah, so I understand that he doesn't necessarily have the same experience of this couch as I do. And now it's in my creative space, so it doesn't have to be for him. Like every time I come in here, I sit in a different place and just look around. Like, it's so awesome. We also moved some of my plants from my house. This is actually the first house plant I bought after moving to South Carolina, and it was just like it was a little guy, so he's grown for 2 years now and gets to come live at the office. It used to be up on a windowsill and got way too big for the windowsill because it got taller than the window. So I put it on the floor and then my cats wouldn't leave it alone, so it gets to come here. So back in here is actually the space where we will be setting up all the sticker stuff. We just got finished with this last week. That's the bathroom. We didn't redecorate it. So we haven't unpacked everything in here yet, but this will be all the stickers and some different things that we'll be shipping. We do have some drawers and some containers here. We're gonna put some different shirts in. We made a little break area to keep some snacks. And I'm gonna bring down the stuff to be able to like make some coffee here. More storage. This is where all the stickers and stuff are now. You can see here. which we're actually working with an artist and getting ready to do a new launch once we get all this stuff unpacked and ready. And we're going to do some grab bags to clear out some of this older inventory. Look, this is one I drew. Happy birthday, little guy. And this is just more storage. I haven't moved all of my stuff down here yet. Like, I'm going to set up my podcasting stuff and get some lighting and some different things. But with the internet being set up today, we can activate the alarm system, and I didn't want to put a bunch of like expensive equipment down here until we had that like security in place. So now that it is, I can actually come and use this. So this is where we're going to be recording podcasts, and I am actually going to be able to film podcasts. So one of the things that has been highly requested is podcasts in video format for people who don't listen to podcasts on podcast apps. And so by having an actual space that I can set up some cameras, because right now I've been filming my podcasts like in this tiny table in my pantry, and there's nowhere. Like, I'm facing a window that's this close in front of me whenever I'm recording podcasts now. There's no way that we could have really filmed those, and now we'll be able to do that, which is really cool. And I'm just so inspired here. Do you know the importance of having an inspired space? I talk about making your garden your own, putting up the wind chimes and the fun little statues and the stones that have words on them, and putting a chair in your garden and making it a place that you want to be. Because when you have work that needs to get done, especially if you do deal with like focus issues and stuff like that, it can be very, very hard to do monotonous work day in, day out for a long period of time, especially as cyclically as the garden. But making a space that you want to be, I feel like allows you to actually settle into who you are and how you feel, and then the work that you're trying to do can kind of come out of that. And that was kind of my hope here, because with writing and being able to focus and teach and do the things that I love to do, but that I really struggle with when there's distraction, I can already tell you what a massive difference this has made to just come down here and be able to just get into that space. It's awesome. Oh, here's another one. This was sent in. This is one of my favorite things that I have been sent. We still have a lot of art and different things that people have sent us that we haven't had a place to put them, that I'm saving, because we're planning on using a lot of that sort of stuff when we're decorating like the coffee house and the businesses. I think it would be really, really cool to have a lot of the decor there be things that people have made, because people do send us such botanical stuff. You know, they send us art and photos and stuff of the farm, of their places of flowers and vegetables and different things like that. And that's sort of the theme that we're doing across for Beulah for the coffee roasting, is this very botanical theme. So yeah, this is my space, my beautiful little office. You'll be seeing more of this, recording podcasts and doing like teaching videos and stuff down here. And a lot of what I do you won't immediately see, but hopefully sometime here down the road you'll read. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I'm glad to be able to share with you, and I look forward to sharing more from this space with you in the future. I bless you guys. Until next time.